Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Linda.
And today we've got some crazy Reddit stories lined up for you guys.
Yep, relationship drama, awkward moments, bad decisions, basically the internet being the internet.
And while we read these stories, we're both going to give our honest opinions and reactions.
So if you agree with me, or if Paul is completely wrong, which happens a lot.
Wow, okay. Anyway, make sure you guys jump into the comments and tell us what you would do in these situations.
Because honestly, Reddit people are wild sometimes.
Facts. All right, grab your snacks, relax, and let's get into today's story.
All right, today's Reddit first story is actually kind of heavy. So this guy says the worst part of his day is always something involving his wife. He says he has a stressful job, takes care of the kids, helps around the house, and honestly tries really hard to keep everything together. But somehow, almost every day turns into an argument with his wife.
Damn, that already sounds exhausting.
And then he says something that honestly made me sad. One day, he was coming home 20 minutes late, but he was too scared to tell his wife because he didn't want to deal with her reaction.
Yeah, that's not normal relationship stress anymore.
Exactly. He says his wife claims she's upset because he doesn't communicate properly, but he believes she's just been unhappy for a long time. And honestly, the saddest part is that he says nobody affects him like she does. Not coworkers, not stress, not random people. Only her words really break him emotionally.
That line actually hit hard.
And now he's asking Reddit if anyone else feels like the worst part of their day is always with their spouse, and if relationships like this can actually be fixed. Honestly, this one's just sad. All right, so before we give our opinions, let's read some of the top Reddit comments, because honestly, people had some pretty mature takes on this. The first comment says, "Honestly, this sounds less like one specific problem and more like years of resentment building on both sides. Once couples start assuming the worst about each other, even small problems become huge fights."
Yeah, I actually agree with that a lot, because once communication becomes negative all the time, even being 20 minutes late suddenly feels personal.
Exactly. Okay, second comment says, "You both probably need a real conversation about expectations and responsibilities. She might also be overwhelmed, but expressing it in the wrong way. And you avoiding communication makes things worse."
That's honestly fair too, because we only heard his side of the story. We don't really know what she's feeling either.
And the comment also suggested couples therapy, which honestly might help a lot here. Okay, and the third comment says something interesting. "It sounds like you guys probably have very young kids. If she wasn't always like this, maybe it's exhaustion. Raising young children can make people emotionally drained and irrational sometimes."
Honestly, that might be the most realistic comment here, because sleep deprivation and stress can seriously change people.
And I liked that the comment didn't just blame one person. It basically said, you guys are supposed to be a team.
Facts.
Now, personally, I think the saddest part of this story is that this guy feels emotionally unsafe around his own partner.
Yeah, like when home becomes more stressful than work, something's seriously wrong.
But at the same time, I also think there's a chance both of them are just exhausted and disconnected instead of truly hating each other.
And honestly, relationships don't magically fix themselves, because if both people stop communicating properly, resentment just keeps growing quietly.
Which is why therapy honestly sounds like a good idea here.
Facts. Because right now, they're reacting to each other, not understanding each other.
So what do you guys think? Is this relationship still fixable?
Or do you think they've already emotionally checked out?
Let us know in the comments, because this one honestly feels very real.
All right, guys, this next Reddit story is less internet drama and more relationship therapy session.
Yeah, and honestly, this one is kinda deep.
All right, let's get into it.
So, this husband says he had a feeling his wife was secretly planning a boudoir photo shoot for his birthday gift. But here's the twist. He absolutely hates boudoir photos.
Bro said, please, no professionally edited sexy calendar pictures.
And honestly, his explanation was kinda sweet. He says he prefers the real version of his wife. Messy hair, no makeup, normal everyday moments.
Okay, wait, that's actually wholesome.
Yeah, but the internet immediately called him an asshole for not liking boudoir pics.
Of course they did. It's Reddit.
But instead of pretending, he decided to be brutally honest with his wife because they had a rule, no more lying to each other. And then the story gets complicated.
Uh-oh.
So, apparently, their marriage had already gone through a dead bedroom phase, therapy, trust issues, trauma, depression, basically everything.
Damn.
At one point, his wife's libido disappeared because of a chemical imbalance, then later suddenly came back super strong. But by then, he had emotionally shut down because years of rejection messed him up mentally.
That's actually really sad.
And then his wife mocked him one night for not wanting sex.
Oof. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and later she took a solo trip and lied about some details, which damaged trust even more.
So basically, these two have been through emotional warfare.
Pretty much. Anyway, eventually he tells her the truth, that he appreciates the effort behind the photo shoot, but he genuinely doesn't want boudoir photos.
And honestly, I respect that.
Because fake excitement would have probably hurt her more later.
Facts. But then his wife says something that honestly changed the whole story for me. She says she did the photo shoot because she wanted to feel seen by him again.
Damn, okay, yeah, that hit hard.
And apparently, because of work, anxiety, depression, and school, he's slowly stopped emotionally showing up in the relationship.
Bro is literally pulling like 5 all-nighters a week as a PhD student.
Gosh, 5?
Yeah, nah, his mental health was cooked.
So after all this honesty and therapy, they actually ended up setting healthier boundaries together, like 2 nights every week where he has to stop working and spend time with her.
Honestly, that's probably what the relationship needed the whole time.
Not sexy pictures, just emotional connection.
Facts.
And honestly, I kind of respect both of them after hearing the full story. They've both messed up, they've both hurt each other, but at least they're trying to communicate instead of pretending everything is perfect.
Yeah, most couples would have buried all this until the relationship exploded.
So what do you guys think?
Was the husband wrong for being that honest with the gift?
Or do you think honesty saved the relationship here?
Let us know in the comments, because honestly, this story felt way too
All
real.
right, guys, before we give our final thoughts, let's read some of the top Reddit comments, because honestly, people had some really good takes on this one.
Okay, first comment says, honestly, this is one of the healthiest posts I've seen in a while. You didn't shame your wife, you didn't hide your feelings, and you actually tried to understand your emotions before talking to her.
Facts. That's actually rare online. Most people either fake happiness or completely explode emotionally.
And he kind of did neither. He was honest, but still respectful.
Which honestly takes maturity.
All right, second comment says something interesting. Maybe understanding why she wanted to do the photo shoot helped you realize how strongly she still feels about you.
Ooh, that's actually true.
The comment basically says they both still love each other deeply, but emotionally they're on different wavelengths sometimes.
Yeah, like he expresses love through honesty and stability.
While she wanted to feel desired and emotionally noticed again.
Honestly, that's kind of heartbreaking.
And the comment also said she probably needs to fully open up emotionally someday instead of hiding things until they explode.
Facts. Communication is literally carrying this marriage right now.
All right, third comment says, this sounds healthy, but also exhausting.
Okay, that's fair.
The person basically says you can feel how much work both of them are putting into this relationship. Therapy, trauma, boundaries, honesty, emotional conversations.
Bro, this relationship has side quests.
Literally. But honestly, I respect couples who actually try.
Same. Because nowadays, people either give up instantly or stay miserable without fixing anything.
And this couple honestly feels messy but real.
My personal opinion? I don't think the husband was wrong for being honest. If he lied and pretended to love the photos, eventually she would have noticed anyway.
And honestly, I think the real gift here wasn't the photos. It was the conversation that happened after.
Facts. Because that conversation exposed problems both of them were ignoring.
I also think the wife genuinely loves him. Like, people usually don't go through therapy, hard conversations, and all this emotional work if they don't care anymore.
Exactly. They honestly sound less like toxic enemies and more like two exhausted people trying to reconnect. So what do you guys think?
Was honesty the right move here?
Or should he have just accepted the gift quietly?
Let us know in the comments, because this story honestly had way more depth than we expected.
All right, guys, next Reddit story, and honestly, this one already feels like married couple warfare.
Oh, no.
Okay, so this woman says she's 29 and married to a 34-year-old guy. She finally got one night out to go to a concert with her mom while her husband stayed home with their 1-year-old daughter. And according to her, dinner was already prepared, so it should have been a pretty easy night.
Okay, where's the disaster coming?
Oh, it's coming. So she comes home around midnight and notices the baby's high chair is still covered in food. The plate still has dried food stuck on it. The dogs weren't fed, and all the blinds in the house were still up.
Oh, no. The dogs, too?
Bro completed like 40% of the mission.
Literally.
So obviously she gets frustrated and tells him he could have at least rinsed off the baby's plate and wiped down the high chair tray. And then the husband responds saying she's being unreasonable because he already put the baby to bed and shouldn't have to help with dishes.
Sir, what?
That's exactly what I said, especially because she literally says she handles this routine every single night by herself.
And she didn't even ask him to deep clean the kitchen. She basically just wanted him to not leave food fossilized on the baby plate.
Facts.
And honestly, I kind of understand why she got annoyed coming home to that after finally having one night out.
Yeah, especially when you're the default parent most of the time.
Because the frustration usually isn't just about one dirty plate. It's the feeling of, I do this every day without help, so why is it impossible for you one time?
Ooh, yeah, that's the real argument. But I will say, coming home instantly angry probably didn't help either.
True, because if someone greets you with frustration immediately, most people get defensive instead of understanding.
Facts.
But overall, I honestly don't think she's wrong for feeling frustrated.
Same. Like, bro, feed the dogs at least.
Exactly.
I think this story is less about dishes and more about imbalance.
Yeah, like she sounds mentally exhausted.
And he sounds like he thinks watching the child for one night deserves a standing ovation.
Stop.
I'm just saying.
All right, guys, apparently Reddit was not on this husband's side.
Like, at all.
Okay, first comment says, you shouldn't have to tell your husband, a grown adult, to scrape a plate or do basic cleanup. And honestly, yeah. Wiping a chair and rinsing a plate is bare minimum parenting behavior.
Facts. Especially because she already handles it every single day.
All right, second comment says something interesting. Children complain about chores not being their responsibility. Adults understand that things just need to get done.
Ooh.
And honestly, that kind of hit. Because marriage isn't supposed to be, well, technically, that's your task.
Exactly. Good relationships usually work more like whoever has the energy right now handles it.
Facts.
Okay, but this third comment kind of changes everything. Apparently, she made older Reddit posts saying he comes home and just plays video games while she does basically everything for the baby in house.
Oh, okay. Now this isn't about one dirty plate anymore.
Exactly, because now it sounds like this has been building resentment for months.
And apparently he even says stuff like, I don't make much mess, so I shouldn't have to help clean.
Sir, you live there.
Bro has a subscription to the house.
Stop.
Now, because imagine saying, I don't create garbage, so I shouldn't take the trash out.
That's insane.
At that point, you're not acting like a partner, you're acting like a teenage roommate.
All right, fourth comment was brutal. It basically says, why does he call taking care of his own child helping?
Oof, that's actually a really important point, though. Parenting isn't babysitting when it's your own child.
Facts. And honestly, I think that's why so many moms get mentally exhausted, because they stop feeling like they have a partner and start feeling like the household manager.
Damn.
And then the last comment was basically tough love. Reddit users found an older post from her saying the same problems were happening 196 days ago.
So people are basically telling her either force change or stop expecting magically different behavior.
Yeah.
All right, my honest opinion, I don't think this woman is angry about dishes. I think she's angry because she feels alone in parenting.
Facts. And honestly, one of the saddest feelings in a relationship is feeling like you can't rely on your partner for basic things.
But I also think constantly venting online won't fix anything forever. At some point, there has to be consequences, boundaries, therapy, something.
Because resentment only gets uglier with time.
Facts.
And honestly, if this story is fully accurate, the husband seriously needs to grow up emotionally.
Like, bro, feed the dogs, wipe the chair, and help your wife before she mentally checks out.
Facts.
All right, guys, now we want to hear your opinions.
Is the wife justified in being frustrated?
Or do you think Reddit is being too harsh on the husband?
Let us know in the comments because honestly, this felt way deeper than just
All right,
dirty
guys,
dishes.
next Reddit story, and honestly, this one already feels like married couple warfare.
Oh no.
Okay, so this woman says she's 29 and married to a 34-year-old guy. She finally got one night out to go to a concert with her mom while her husband stayed home with their 1-year-old daughter. And according to her, dinner was already prepared, so it should have been a pretty easy night.
Okay, where's the disaster coming?
Oh, it's coming. So she comes home around midnight and notices the baby's high chair is still covered in food. The plate still has dried food stuck on it. The dogs weren't fed, and all the blinds in the house were still up.
Oh, no. The dogs, too?
Bro completed like 40% of the mission.
Literally.
So obviously she gets frustrated and tells him he could have at least rinsed off the baby's plate and wiped down the high chair tray. And then the husband responds saying she's being unreasonable because he already put the baby to bed and shouldn't have to help with dishes.
Sir, what?
That's exactly what I said, especially because she literally says she handles this routine every single night by herself.
And she didn't even ask him to deep clean the kitchen. She basically just wanted him to not leave food fossilized on the baby plate.
Facts.
And honestly, I kind of understand why she got annoyed coming home to that after finally having one night out.
Yeah, especially when you're the default parent most of the time.
Because the frustration usually isn't just about one dirty plate. It's the feeling of, I do this every day without help, so why is it impossible for you one time?
Ooh, yeah, that's the real argument. But I will say, coming home instantly angry probably didn't help either.
True, because if someone greets you with frustration immediately, most people get defensive instead of understanding.
Facts.
But overall, I honestly don't think she's wrong for feeling frustrated.
Same. Like, bro, feed the dogs at least.
Exactly.
I think this story is less about dishes and more about imbalance.
Yeah, like she sounds mentally exhausted.
And he sounds like he thinks watching the child for one night deserves a standing ovation.
Stop.
I'm just saying.
All right, guys, before we give our final thoughts, let's see what Reddit had to say. And honestly, people are not holding back on this one.
Yeah, this comment section is intense.
First comment says, blocking your own wife is a huge warning sign. That's already a major red flag.
Sigh. Yeah, I agree with that. Blocking your partner instead of talking is not normal communication.
And the comment also says he's probably hiding worse behavior in DMs.
That's speculation, but the behavior itself is still concerning.
Second comment is more blunt. If his uncle jumps off a bridge, will he do the same?
That's sarcasm, but it hits.
Yeah, it's basically saying normal doesn't mean right.
Exactly. And it also points out something important. He keeps dismissing her feelings like they don't matter.
All right, third comment, and this one gets serious. Your husband is verbally abusive. Calling you names, dismissing your emotions, and telling you you'll be fine is not normal.
That's strong wording, but I see why they said it. Because name-calling in a relationship is never okay.
And they even suggest she should document things and consider leaving.
That's a big escalation, though, but it shows how serious people think this is.
And then the last comment actually brings a balanced take. It says, before boundaries are discussed, behavior is based on general social expectations. But once she told him it bothered her, he should have stopped immediately.
Exactly. That's the key point. It's not just what he did, it's that he didn't respect her concern after she expressed it.
All right, my honest take? My honest take is this isn't really about Instagram anymore. It's about trust, respect, and how someone treats your emotions when you're vulnerable.
Facts. Because even if someone thinks their behavior is normal, a healthy partner adjusts when they see it hurts the other person.
And here, he didn't just disagree, he insulted, blocked, and dismissed.
That combination is what makes people uncomfortable.
So, is she overreacting? Honestly, I don't think so.
Same. Even if you remove all assumptions, the way he responded emotionally is not healthy.
But at the same time, Reddit jumping straight to leave immediately is also extreme.
True, every relationship situation has layers, but the foundation here is clearly shaky.
Yeah, if trust breaks this early and this easily, it's a serious problem.
So what do you guys think?
Is this a communication issue that can be fixed?
Or is this already a respect and trust breakdown?
Let us know in the comments because this one really split opinions online.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's episode.
Honestly, today's stories were heavy, messy, and kind of real in a scary way.
Yeah, from relationship stress to trust issues to communication problems, it was a lot.
But if there's one thing we learned from all of these Reddit stories, it's that silence makes things worse, and honesty matters, even when it's uncomfortable.
Facts. And also, every story has two sides, always.
So before judging anyone too quickly, try to understand the full picture.
And now we want to hear from you guys.
Which story hit you the hardest today? And what would you do in their situation?
Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read them all.
And if you enjoyed this podcast-style breakdown,
Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.